ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। Harihi Om. Namaste everyone. I only hope that the break of one class has not discouraged people from continuing with the classes, because very low attendance is there today. I don't know, maybe it is because of Pongal, quite possible, because tomorrow is Pongal in India, but I'm told that in Canada and all, they are celebrating Pongal. It is because it is morning of 14th. So they are celebrating Pongal on that. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let us continue our classes. Panchanaamapi koshanam nishedhe yuktitah shrutehe tannishedhavadhis sakshi bodharupo vasishyate. I think in last class we just read the sloka. We have not seen the Anvaya or the meaning, right? So Anvaya is Pancha.
You just read out only, sir.
Read out only, correct. That's what my recollection is. So Panchanam Koshanam Yuktitaha Api Nishede Shrutehe. Or you can put it Panchanam Koshanam Yuktitaha Api Shrutehe Nishede Tat Nisheda Avadihi Bodha Rupaha Sakshi Avasishyate. That is the Anvaya. Panchanam of the five, Koshanam of the Koshas, Yuktitaha by logical inquiry, Api even, Shrutehe based on Shruti, Nishedhe when negation is done, Tat Nisheda Avadihi, the end of their negation or at the end of their negation, Bodha Rupaha in the form of knowledge, Sakshi, the witness, Avasishyate, remains. So what Adi Shankara is telling in this sloka is, when you negate all the five koshas, as we have done very elaborately, does that mean that there is nothing left? He says, no. What is the disturbance? Background knowledge. Whoever it is, can you please mute? I'm not able to do that. Okay. So even when the negation of the five koshas is done by logical inquiry, and also based on Shruti, the Sakshi, the witness in the form of knowledge, remains as the culmination of their negation. So let me just have a little flashback. We must all remember that we are discussing the topic of Atma Anatma Viveka or Panchakosha Viveka in these verses, and which happens to be the answer to the seventh question of the student. Yes, you must always remember the background of these slokas, which are answers to the 7 questions raised by the student. And Acharya, after having answered 6 questions, is now elaborately answering the 7th question, because that is the most difficult part in understanding, and that is where all the misconception, misunderstanding has taken place. And in Panchakosha Viveka, each kosha has been defined. Each kosha has been pointed out as anatma. Anatma means that which is not me. It is something other than me. So anatma means it cannot be included in the meaning of the word I, the Atma. So anatma means other than the Atma, other than the self, other than the me, other than me. So all the panchakoshas are not me. I am not the body. I am not the Sukshma Sharira. I am not Manomaya Kosha. I am not Vijnanamaya Kosha. I am not even the Karana Sharira, Anandamaya Kosha. Therefore, since Anatma is other than me, it should not really be included in the meaning of the word I. Therefore, when I refer to myself, I should exclude all these 5 koshas. Now, naturally, the question will come, if I exclude all the 5 koshas as anatma, then what is me? The self, the atma. Because it appears that nothing is left out. And therefore, the logical question is, if these are all anatma, what is atma? And that is being said in this 60th verse, which we just now read. Panchanam api koshanam nishedhe. Once a Vedantic student studies all these 5 layers of personality, he learns to name them as kosha, covering, a container. And if he understands the significance of the word kosha, what it means, he understands they are not me. This understanding itself is a very profound awakening. So, the stula sharira, the physical body is a kosha, means it is just like an upper cloth that we wear. A dress which I put on and put off, maybe a shirt. When the shirt or the angavastram or the upper body cloth fades away, what do? I just throw it away. I have no regrets about it. In fact, I am happy that I can get a new one. You must carry these thoughts with you whenever the thought of death, the thought of getting out of this body, the thought of this body falling forever, when that thought comes, you must actually revel in that thought, enjoy that thought. Oh, this body has become worn out. It has got all sorts of diseases which cannot be cured, which has to be only endured. let this body go. Let me get a new body. That should be the thought. Once that thought comes, you have overcome the fear of death. So similarly, I look at the body as a costume. It is fading. I'm not worried. It's a natural thing that is going. As Krishna said in the second chapter, beginning of this teaching, Gatasu na Gatasuscha na anusochanti pandita. The body comes, goes, and a learned person is not worried about it. So the very word kosha, usage of the word kosha, understanding of the word kosha, totally changes my attitude towards my body, mind, sense complex. Therefore, whenever I am referred to my body, mind, whenever I refer to that body, mind, sense complex, I must learn to look at them as a kosha, as a layer of my personality. It is not me. Mind is a kosha, buddhi is a kosha. As I said, the literal meaning of kosha means what? A container. And the commentators, they give twofold interpretations to this word kosha. But Adi Shankara gives one, and the other authors give another. They look at this word kosha from another standpoint. Shankaracharya he says, Upalabdhistanatvat kosha hai. It is a container. Like, we have containers for spectacles and all that. I take off the spectacle, put it in a spectacle case, which is a kosha hai. And when you need the spectacles, you take the case, open it, and then put on the spectacles. Similarly, panchakoshas are like the containers. What is the spectacle? Atma is the spectacle, the content. Panchakoshas are five-fold cases. Within them, the precious Atma, the content is there. Therefore, Panchakosha Vivekena Atma Upalabdhihi Bhavati. Therefore, Kosha is Upalabdhisthanam. It's a place where Atma can be found. This is Shankaracharya's explanation of Kosha. There is a text called Vedanta Sara. In that, Swami Sadananda gives another interpretation. He says, Koshavat Achadakativat. Achadikatvat. So the spectacle is covered by the case. It is concealed and hidden. Therefore, you cannot see it. Similarly, Atma is also as though covered by the Panchakoshas. It is not physically covered. It is a covering as it were. And therefore, he says, the kosha alone is capable of drawing our attention, not the Atma, since it is not perceptible. And that is why all the time we are worried about one kosha or the other. Lifelong, we are what? As Bhajagovindam says, Balastavat Krida Sakta hai, Tarunastavat Taruni Sakta hai, Buddhastyavat Chinta Sakta hai, Parame Brahmani Kopi na Sakta hai. This is what throughout our life we are doing. Throughout our life we are worried or we pay attention to one kosha or another only. And this attention towards the koshas make us ignore our real nature. So to say that they are covering the Atma is a figurative expression. So two standpoints, I mean, it's only a sort of more academic understanding. All the crux of the matter is we must learn to understand, or we must understand what we have been referring to as I, the body mind sense complex. It was totally a mistaken identity on my part. I am not this body mind sense complex. I am what? I am Atma. I am conscious, pure consciousness, which cannot be perceived. Since consciousness cannot be perceived, I have been mistakenly taking all these koshas as me. And this kosha, panchakoshas, were given three names, sharirams, right? Koshas is called shariram because shiryamana swabhavatva. That is why it is called the word shariram is derived in this manner. Shiryamana swabhavatva. Shiryate means to decay, to degenerate. So shiryamana swabhavatvat shariram. So the moment we say shariram, we must immediately understand this is something which is going to decay, which is going to go away. And once we negate these three shariram or the panchakoshas, what happens? That is what he says in this sloka, panchanam api koshanam nishedhe yuktitah shrutehe. When you dismiss all the five koshas as Atma, when you have fully understood without any doubt these panchakoshas are anatma, nishede sati, have been negated does not mean non-self. How? Yuktitah shrutehe, with the help of two pramanams, yukti in and shruti. What is the shruti pramanam? We have got lot of shruti pramanam. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Anyontara Atma Vijnanamaya, Anyontara Atma Anandamaya, Tenaisha Purnaha, Savayesha Purusha Vidhiyeva, Tasya Purusha Vidhatam, Anvayam Purusha Vidhaha. We have seen some of these slokas in earlier classes, whenever we dealt with each of the koshas. So not only Vedic evidence or Pramanam is there, but logical evidence is also there. What is the most powerful logic? A very simple statement which we saw right in the beginning of these classes. What is that statement? I am not what I experience. I am different from whatever I experience. Because whatever I experience falls within the experienced category, whereas I am the experiencer. I, the experiencer, am different from all the experienced panchakoshas, including the Anandamaya kosha, which I experience in deep sleep. Therefore, who am I? I am the Sakshi Chaitanyam, witness of everything that goes on with my body, mind, sense complex. And through them, whatever is going on in the entire world, I am the witness. I am the Sakshi Chaitanyam. Therefore, I am not the Panchakoshas. This is the logical argument. So, yuktitaha means drishyatvat iti yuktihi. And then during the course of our discussion, we have seen many other reasons in the context of each of the koshas, bhautikatvat, savikaratvat, sagunatvat, agamapayitvatvat, so many reasons as to why this panchakosha I am not. We also saw Anumana Pramanam. All these are not me. Iti nishedha. Once a person disowns or disidentifies. Here the word nishedha means disidentification intellectually. One does not physically get rid of these koshas or disowns them. It's only an understanding, it's only an intellectual. Experientially, I cannot disidentify from the body. I cannot distance myself from the body. Because as long as prarabdha is there, I am struck with this body, fair, dark, whatever it is. All the body pain I will have to go through. Therefore, disidentification is not experiential, but it is in the terms of in terms of my understanding, in terms of my conclusion. That does not mean that one should go around saying, oh, I'm not the body, my body is experiencing pain. Nothing wrong in saying that. You can as well say, oh, I am having pain. In fact, if you say I am having pain or I am experiencing pain, that itself is a sentence which shows that I am different from that. I am not the pain. The pain doesn't belong to me. Pain is an experienced attribute belonging to the experienced body. Therefore, pain is also anatma. Body is also anatma. You say, I am in pain. If you say, I have pain, that is wrong. But still, if you say, I have pain, you are saying it in a ajnana avastha, avidya avastha, still it will be acceptable. A jnani will understand. Therefore, when I experience pain, I am not the pain. Pain is a object of experience. I am the subject. This disidentification gives objectivity. Swami Paramarthananda talks about, because I don't have personal knowledge, he says that in all pain management centers, one of the things they teach is remove the emotional content from the experience. Because emotion aggravates the pain. Something happens to you, you say, oh God, why me? Why am I going through this pain? I am such a good person. I have never ever thought of any, ill of anybody. If at all I have only been helping people, why should I then go through this pain? This is a very standard response or reaction of so many people. Even people question the wisdom of God. Why wisdom? Even existence of God, they question. There is nothing but God. If God was there, will He allow such a good person like me? All self-certification. Understand, You certify yourself as a good person. Will He allow? So God is, very biased. He has got some enmity towards me. You curse the God. You curse the world. Even dharma you curse. I have led a dharmic life, but what is happening now? I am bedridden. I am got pain all over my body. Therefore, if we emotionally interpret the pain gets magnified. But when we have objectivity, we remove the emotional content. Then it becomes a pure biological issue. So it seems what they teach in these pain management courses is remove the emotional content and make it a plain biological issue. Because when a baby cries in pain, it does not have emotional problems. Like, I'm giving trouble to others and things like that and all. A jnani has this objectivity. And therefore, even when he goes through physical pain, he removes the emotional content. He understands fully, appreciate the body will have these situations because body is matter. Matter is degenerating. There will be diseases and consequent pain also. I just have to endure that. I have to tolerate that. Tan titikshasva. Krishna says, once you have removed the emotional content, then the impact of the pain is largely reduced. Thus, the magnification of the pain is because of the emotional content, and that can be removed by Atma Jnanam. Of course, these are all, words of wisdom for practical use for all of us from the teachings of Swami Paramarthananda. But they are very useful. Because Bhagavad Gita is there. How to understand Bhagavad Gita, how to apply the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in our day-to-day life is the biggest challenge. Merely theoretically studying Bhagavad Gita, oh, this word means in Sanskrit, this means this means this. It may be enriching, but it will not lead you anywhere in your day-to-day life. We must take the gems out of Bhagavad Gita practically, which we can apply to our everyday life and try to live that life. Once you start doing that, automatically, everything will fall in place. So when we intellectually identify, we have an objective appreciation of Panchakosha. And because of Shruti and Yukti Pramanams, when we disidentify, what remains? He says, Tat Nisheda Avadihi Sakshi Bodha Rupaha Avasishyate. Sakshi Avasishyate. What remains is the Sakshi Chaitanyam. And what is this Sakshi Chaitanyam? He says, Bodha Rupaha, which is of the nature of pure consciousness. We have already seen that the pure consciousness is called Sakshi when it is in association with Shariratrayam and Chidabhasa. So in association with the Shariratrayam and Chidabhasa, the original consciousness gets the name Sakshi. It is a reflected consciousness, which is the observer. Because the very same original consciousness is also there in the dead body. Because consciousness pervades everything, so it pervades a dead body also. But there, it is not associated with the three sharirams. Even when you look at a statue, consciousness pervades that statue. You can say that consciousness is pervading the statue, but you cannot name the statue as Sakshi. So you must understand this subtle difference. The name Sakshi can be used only when Chidabhasa is there, when the reflected consciousness is there with Chit. When the consciousness gets reflected in our Sukshma Sharira, of course, first in Karana Sharira, then all that we have already seen. It is because of the Chidabhasa our Atma gets the name as Sakshi. Therefore, Bodha Rupaha, the consciousness which is at present called Sakshi, Tat Nisheda Avadihi. Here Avadhi means the remainder, the left out. Avadhi literally means a limit, right? So here limit means whatever is left out as remainder after removing everything else. So from when the floor is very dirty and you remove all the dirt, the oil, filth, etc., then what is removed is Nisheda Vishaya, the object of negation. What is left behind is Nisheda Avadihi. So here Nisheda Vishaya is Panchakosha, Nisheda Avadihi is Atma, which is left behind. So Tat Nisheda Avadihi means Panchakosha Nisheda Avadihi. And Avadihi is always unnegatable. You can wipe the floor, but you cannot remove the floor by wiping. You can remove everything other than the floor by wiping. Therefore, what remains after negation is called Avadihi. Anishedhyam. And there is a logical reason also why Atma cannot be negated. What is that? If I have to negate the Atma, I have to make it an object. Then the Atma will get the name Anatma. Then in order to negate that Anatma, you require a second Atma. Then you have to negate the second Atma also. You will require a third Atma. It will go into infinite regression. Therefore, after the negation of everything, all the objective, all that objects, all that are experienced objects, what remains is Atma, the Sakshi, unnegatable negator of all the negatables. The unnegatable negator of all the negatables. So it is called Avadihi. Atma avasishyate. That alone remains. That one is the real self. That one is the meaning of the definition aham. I. So with this, the Panchakosha topic is over. And now we are supposed to know what is the real I. So what is now, we have now come to a stage where we say, okay, this body, mind, sense complex is not me. I am the witness of all that this body, mind, sense complex indulge in. I am the real I in the nature of, original nature of me is consciousness, pure consciousness. But when I actually get the name of Sakshi, it refers to the reflected consciousness. So now, after this, further discussions follow on the nature of Atma. Till now, the discussions have been negating discussions, negative discussions. It is not this, it is not this, it is not this. Now we enter into positive discussions. Until now, we have said what Atma is not. Mano buddhyahankara chittani naham na cha srotra jikve na cha grana netre. All these are na iti, negative definition. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. That is what we have seen till now. Now, when we come to understanding Atma in the positive way, we have already seen two features. Atma is in the nature of consciousness. And also we have seen that it is in the nature of happiness. Of course, we can add Anubhava also, experience also. Because Atma is the Sakshi of all experiences. And we have also seen that in our avidya avastha, in our ignorance, we are attributing the meaning of I to the body, mind, sense complex. Now, in the following 5 slokas, so sloka 61 to 65, the Acharya presents what is the revised meaning of the word I as presented by the Shastra. Therefore, now we are facing two I's, both meaning I or me. The popular conventional I, we can put it as a small I, as the worldly people understand. The laukika aham. And the second one is the revised meaning of the word I as presented by Shastra. The cleaned I. The Panchakosha Vilakshana I. Shodhita aham padhartha hai. So, Shodhita, cleaned, purified, aham padhartha hai is the revised meaning of the word I. So, we can actually, in order to identify the two I's, we can refer to the Laukika Aham as the small I in English and the Shastrik Aham as the capital I. And later, of course, we will see two more technical words. The small I, the worldly, the Laukika I, which worldly people understand, is called Vachyartha. Vachyartha is a technical word. Even though we know the meaning of Vachyartha, we use it. We don't realize that what it means. And the revised meaning of the word I is going to be called Lakshyartha. So these two terminologies are very important terminologies in Vedanta. Vachyartha and Lakshyartha. And therefore, Adi Shankara is consolidating the revised I, the Lakshyartha, the Shodhita Aham Padhartha hai, the revised meaning of the word I, the capital I, in the following 5 verses, and which is a very, very important bridge, very important for further progress. So we enter that portion, verse number 61. योऽयमात्मा स्वयं ज्योतिः पंचकोश विलक्षणः अवस्थात्रय साक्षी सन् निर्विकारो निरञ्जनः सदानंद सविज्ञेयः स्वात्मत्वेन विपश्चिता. The Anvaya of this shloka is Ayam Atma Yah Swayam Jyotihi Panchakoshana Vilakshanaha Avastatraya Sakshi San Nirvikaraha Niranjanaha Sada Anandaha Saha Vipaschita Swatmatvena Vigneyaha. Beautiful definition of Atma. In fact, if you understand the meaning, if you understand the structure of the Sanskrit language, really the enjoyment is multifold. I am Atma, this Atma, Yaha, which is Swayam Jyotihi, self-effulgent, Panchakosha Vilakshanaha, distinct from the five koshas, Avastatraya Sakshi San, being the witness of all the three states of experience, Nirvikaraha, not undergoing any change, Niranjanaha, untainted by any association, Sadha, always, Anandaha, of the nature of fullness, of the nature of happiness, Saha, that Atma, Vipaschita, by one who is capable of Viveka, Swatmatvena, as oneself, Vigyeyaha should be known. How should we know the Atma? This Atma, which is self-effulgent, distinct from the five koshas, the witness of the three states of experience, yet changeless, untainted by any association, and always of the nature of fullness, should be known as oneself by one who is capable of Viveka. So here in this sloka is a continuation of the previous sloka. Previous sloka ended with yaha avasishyate. So here the yaha which comes, it should be connected with the previous shloka avasishyate. So that which remains after the negation of Panchakosha, that which is the remainder, I am Atma. So that remaining remainder consciousness is called Atma, which is the real self, the real I, the revised I, the capital I. And all other words are adjectives explaining the nature of this Atma. So we will see the adjectives one by one. All Visheshans. Swayam Jyotihi. I am Atma, Swayam Jyotihi. It is the consciousness principle which is self-evident, which need not be revealed by operating any instrument of knowledge, by operating any pramana. Even sensory operation is not required to reveal that self-evident consciousness. In fact, whatever the sensory organs reveal in terms of eyes see, ears hear, all that revelation is because of consciousness alone. Therefore, they are called prameyam. That which is revealed by consciousness is called prameyam. And consciousness itself is not revealed by consciousness through any process. Why? Because it is self-revealed. It is ever revealed, self-effulgent. It is always present. It is the revealer, not the revealed. Therefore, it is called Swayam Jyotihi, Swaprakashaha, Aprameyaha, Swayam Siddhaha. So many words Acharyas have used in the Shastra. It's a very, very, very profound concept. Self-evident or self-revealing. I do not need any pramana, any means of knowledge to know myself, isn't it? I know that I exist. It is not because I see my body in the mirror that I know I exist, isn't it? Even if the mirror is not there, even if the room is dark, let us assume a situation where all the pancha, the sense organs are all not functional. A person can't hear, he can't speak, he can't, all pancha karmendriya and jnanendriya. Let us assume he can't walk, he can't talk, nothing works. will he still, he is alive. Will he know he is alive? Will he know he exists? He will still know he exists. So it does not require any means to know that I exist. That I exist is always known to me. And that is the nature of consciousness. So Swayam Jyotihi, self-evident, self-effulgent, is the nature of Atma. Second, Panchakosha Vilakshana. We have discussed this in detail. It is distinct from the Panchakoshas. When we saw the 5 features of Atma or consciousness, he said, consciousness is an independently existent spiritual principle. We said independently. Independent of what? Independent of the body, mind, sense complex. So Panchakosha Vilakshana, or you can say Shariratraya Vilakshana. It is not an attribute of the Panchakoshas. That also we have seen in detail. Then third, Avastatraya Sakshi San. This also we have seen. It is Sakshi, witness. It's a knower, experiencer, revealer. In fact, revealer is a better word. It reveals everything, not by a process, but it's by its mere presence. It is a changeless revealer of everything. That's why it is called a witness or Sakshi. It is the Sakshi of Avastatrayam. What is Avastatrayam? You should recall 3 states of experience: waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. Even in deep sleep state, in the state of deep sleep, where every instrument of knowledge is resolved, Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana, Arthapatti, all your 10 organs, Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, Manaha, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, everything is resolved in a deep sleep state called Sushupti. Even when all the revealing instruments are folded up, the consciousness continues to be self-revealing. It is not only self-revealing, in fact, it reveals the absence of pramanams in the Sushupti Avastha. That nothing is working, everything is folded up, everything is resolved. You are aware of it, and that awareness comes to you because of consciousness only. The word sun means being so. So Avastatraya Sakshi means being the witness or the revealer of the 3 states of experience. Then the 4th attribute, Nirvikaraha, changeless. This also we have seen. It doesn't undergo any change. All the other pramanams get tired. If you use your eyes sitting in front of a computer for a long period of time, your eyes get tired. They become blurred. They cannot see clearly. Similarly, every organ after continuous use gets tired. Because they are all revealers by modification or change. Whereas consciousness is nirvikaraha. It doesn't change at all. It never gets tired. It is there present always in and through all our experiences. So nirvikaraha, changeless revealer. Then niranjanaha. Niranjanaha means blotless, blemishless, pure. Just as the light pervading the dirty hand or any dirty object reveals the hand or the object, but the light itself is not contaminated by the impurities of the hand or the object. Light is uncontaminable, even though it is in contact with everything. Something can be pure by not being in contact with impure things. That is understandable. I am pure, so I will not touch impure things. I will not allow impure things even to come in my presence. Good, you can continue to be pure like that. We are not talking about that. It is immanent, at the same time transcendental, like light, like space. Sunlight falls upon everything in the world, but it is not contaminated by any of it. Sunlight remains blemishless. So it is not, consciousness is not associated, nor it is affected by anything. This is called Niranjanaha, transcendental. It transcends all impurities. Then Sadananda, sixth feature. Another important aspect. In fact, Acharya introduces the topic of Ananda here. Of course, we saw the description of Ananda when we discussed the Anandamaya Kosha. There, the sloka did not talk about all that, but then for our understanding, we discussed a lot about pure happiness and things like that and all. There we also saw that happiness is the very nature of Atma. There we said happiness is reflected in the Anandamaya Kosha. And if there is a reflected happiness, then logically we have to have original happiness. That original happiness is being introduced here. Atma is Bimba Ananda. And therefore only it is Sadhananda. And we have to carefully note one point here. We don't say Atma is happy. Very careful. It's the same thing like we discussed earlier about consciousness. Something is happy means it is possessing happiness. Atma doesn't possess happiness. Atma is happiness itself. Therefore, it is ever happiness itself. And not only that, there is no fluctuation or gradation in Atmananda. There we saw in the Anandamaya Kosha that happiness, temporary happiness, reflected happiness, gradation of Priya, Moda, Pramoda. But original happiness does not have any gradations. And like consciousness, we also face a difficulty here. What is that? Even though Atmananda is original, unfluctuating, eternal Ananda, the Atmananda being myself, it will never be available as an object of experience, just as I can never experience consciousness. And just as I can never experience my own face, I can never have the experience of my own face. Direct experience. We can have indirect experience of the face through a mirror. Similarly, Atmananda is never an experienceable object. What can be experienced is only a reflected version. All the experiential happiness is just in the reflection. And the reflection will be temporary, remaining only as long as the reflecting medium which is an undisturbed, unpreoccupied, calm mind. As long as that is available, that happiness, reflected happiness will be experienced. Once the mind reflecting medium gets disturbed, preoccupied, becomes agitated, that reflected happiness goes away. But that is not what we are talking here. We have talked about it at length in Anandamaya Kosha. What we are talking here is about the non-experienceable, non-graded, ever-available, original Ananda, which is the Atmananda, which is the very nature of Atma. It is the meaning of Ananda hai in Sat Chit Ananda hai. So Sadananda hai. Again, we have seen the Taittiriya Upanishad, mantra, etc., which is the Shastrik Pramanam for this Ananda. So Sadananda Saha Vigyeya. That Atma should be understood or known. So now the question is, all along you said you cannot know the Atma. And here Acharya is saying you should know that Atma. How can I know the Atma? Because the moment I know it, it will become an object. It will become something which is known. I cannot experience Atma also, because the moment I experience Atma at any time, including Samadhi Avastha of Ashtanga Yoga, the Atma will become an experienceable object which it is not. So if Atma is not an experienceable object, how am I to know the Atma? The teacher gives the answer, Sa Vigyeya, the Atma is to be known. How? Swatmatvena, as myself, without objectification, as the very subject. Swatmatvena means it has to be known as I. It should be claimed as I by entertaining a relevant thought. And what is that thought? All along your thought was Panchakosha Aham Asmi. Panchakosha Aham Asmi. Shariratrayam Aham Asmi. Now the thought you have to start entertaining is Panchakosha Vilakshana Atma Aham Asmi. I entertain a thought which is meaningful to me after I understand what is the nature of Atma. That Atma is myself, unobjectifiable, but claimable as I, the capital I. This knowing, without objectification or claiming, is called aparoksha jnanam. Jnanam, knowledge, is of two types, paroksha jnanam and aparoksha jnanam. Paroksha jnanam is knowledge of everything else in the universe. Aparoksha jnanam means the knowledge of what is the most intimate thing, which is my own self. So whenever somebody in any text you come across Atma, Anubhava and all, which can be literally translated as experience of Atma, we must understand that it is aparoksha jnanam, claiming I am the Atma. And that requires a very, very, very subtle mind. Otherwise, all these will be a bunch of words. You will say all these are all wonderful, these words are wonderful, beautiful Sanskrit, but I don't get to know what you are trying to convey. So, whatever I say now, if you are able to follow, you have got a subtle mind. But if you are not able to follow, you need not feel bad. You have to keep on listening. Keep on doing karma yoga. What is a subtle mind? A pure mind is a subtle mind. Very repeated Shravanam itself will make the mind subtler and subtler. Nothing to worry. Keep on studying. Keep on listening. Repeated Shravanam is required. Pauna Punyena Shravanam Kurya. As even you repeatedly listen, all these I am talking now, words like claiming without objectification, and all that will start making sense. And hence the Acharya uses the word vipaschita. Vipaschita means by an intelligent student, a subtle-minded student. Yesha sarveshu bhuteshu gudhotma na prakashate drishyate tvagraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhihi, says Kathopanishad. And in fact, for that, to develop a subtle mind, various upasanas are also prescribed. We will see more of all those in the next class. Okay, it's time now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you very much, all of you.
ధన్యవాదాలు గురుజీ.
Thank you.
నమస్కారం స్వామి.
Namaskaram.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram. Happy Pongal.
Happy
Shankaran
Pongal to all of you.
Shankranti.
Yes, happy Pongal. Thank you very much. So I think there are no questions. So we can close the session now. Girish ji has raised hand. Yes. Tell me.
Hari Om, Guruji.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
And good evening. I just wanted to know about Paroshajanam and Anatma. These we are talking, these two are same.
All knowledge about all Anatma is Paroksha Jnana.
Okay. Okay.
What is left is no knowledge about my own self. That is called Aparoksha Jnana.
Aparosha. Very good. It's very
That
clear.
which is not out, which is
Inside.
not different from me. That is Aparoksha Jnana.
Good.
Okay.
Happy Pongal.
Happy Pongal
Thank
to
you
all
very
of you. Thank you very much. We'll meet next week. I hope next week attendance improves because there will be no Pongal. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari
Thank you,
Om.
Guruji. Hari Om. Pranam.